back to my channel. Hi, my name is Colleen and I just do Colleen chats and chats about whatever she likes. And in today's video, I'm chatting about Bradley on a budget. Typical Bradley style. I am scraping to the bottom of my foundation to get all the product out, and you wouldn't believe how much more my product has lasted me since doing this, and I'm not throwing away and wasting product. But Bradley has 1.5 million followers on TikTok, but TikTok is not where I originally found him. I originally found him, I want to say like a year ago or something. It was on Facebook. I actually find a lot more people on Facebook because I find my Facebook reels are more enjoyable in the sense of I don't feel like I hate my life and I'm so far behind in life when I watch my Facebook reels compared to when I watch TikToks. So that's how I find a lot of people is actually through Facebook. I originally seen him and thought, wow, what the heck, he doesn't have anything, what's wrong with him? And from watching his videos and understanding him a bit more, I realized, wow, he doesn't have much and he is very happy and content with his life, and it was something I kind of aspired to be, and I still enjoy watching his videos. I would never go online and actively search up his name, but he is someone that I do typically come across, and I do tend to watch all his video. I think a lot of the hate he's got, there's only like one or two reasons he's got valid hate, but I think a lot of the hate he's getting lately, like being told about being dirty or unhygienic, is very unwarranted, and we're going to talk about it a bit. Basically, Bradley on a Budget shows how he makes money and how he saves money and things he does to save money. And I think a lot of it makes a lot of sense. A lot of it is valid. And some of it, I did think at the beginning, God, that must be like something he's just doing. But no. When I first followed Bradley, he was working in a office job and he would often talk about taking leftovers home from work, but he did get fired, which we'll get into in a minute. But I'm going to list off some of the stuff that he does that helps him generate more money. Things is the crisis hotline. So he works like a 12-hour shift doing this, and sometimes he gets calls, sometimes he doesn't, and I think that's a really cool one to be in. So does pet sitting, where he just goes around and minds people's dogs when they're at work or when they're away. He also does house sitting as well, and I know he has affiliate links for them, but I think he promotes the website, so I think he probably should get paid. He has 1.5 million followers, so he should get paid when he promotes things, because people get really upset when he promotes certain things, but I think he has a big following. He deserves to get paid. And it's all part of his like whole stick is how he makes money. And this is one of the ways. Another way he does it is he returns bottles. So I know it's not a thing in the UK, but in Australia was the first time I experienced it. So I know where he is in America, I think it's 10 cents a bottle or a can. So sometimes he does collect them from the garbage, he says, but in general, he just has a bag or two, and he said last year he collected like $500 worth of bottles and cans. So I think like that's just one thing. It's harming nobody. He's also a dancer, a male dancer, and he doesn't explain anything more about it apart from I dance. So take with that what you will. The thing he does is he's an OF model, so he does subscriptions on OF. And then the last thing is a content creator, and that is how I obviously found him, and how he's mainly known for Bradley on a Budget is he does videos on TikTok about it. And he actually does make quite a lot of money doing everything that he does do. So I think there's no hate for him doing any of that. As far as I can see from his videos, and obviously when I look up someone on TikTok or something, I never really want to look fully into their family history, because if their family aren't online, it's like looking up something about Kim Kardashian, but you can obviously look up something about Khloe a lot easier. But when people are just like on TikTok and their families aren't on TikTok and they don't share everything, I don't tend to look into everything about that family member. But what I can see is he didn't grow up poor, but he might have grew up with some money troubles. And what I mean by that is he had a couple of TikToks talking about just like hearing about money troubles at home. And he's also mentioned about his mom buying a lot. So I don't know if his mom maybe just shops has like a bit of a shopping addiction, or she's just worried about not having enough cans of something, so she'll buy multiple cans of a certain thing. Or she likes a pair of shoes, so she'll buy 2 or 3 pairs. But to Bradley, it's just always been crazy for someone to do that if they've had money struggles, which I think a lot of people have related to in his videos when he talks about that. So the reason why he started his journey being frugal, because when he left college he was in 6 figures worth of debt, and that is how he began being Bradley on a budget. Now I think he was Bradley on a budget before he was Bradley on a budget, if you get what I mean. His videos show how you can do stuff without spending a lot of money. So I am actually pro Bradley, but I also am on the side of, once you start to make a name online and you start to get notoriety, something about money does change you. And I think we've seen it with numerous TikTokers online. But some of the stuff that really rubs people up the wrong way are, he waters down his eggs, and I don't see why this is a problem and why people are so pressed on it. It's one of those things, I don't even get why he feels the need to share how you make your eggs, but I guess it is cheaper than using milk, so whatever. I don't think that's a problem. The fact that he turns off his fridge when he leaves the house for a weekend or whatever, it's only him in his house. And I can say this as someone who just lives in a house with her and her boyfriend, or fiance and dog. Like, someone opened our fridge the other day and was like, do you just not eat in this house? And I was like, well, it's just the 2 of us, so like, how much food does 2 people need in their cupboard is kind of how I look at it. We literally get what we need for the week, and then there's a couple of pantry stuff that you don't need to buy all the time, like pasta and stuff. But like, in our fridge we consume a lot of like fresh stuff, so we don't tend to buy a lot of food that we're not going to use. I'll make a list of like kind of dinners we're going to have for the week, and then outside of that just buy whatever extra things we need, because fresh food doesn't last that long. His mattress, it's a college dorm mattress, so I think he got it when he was in college. I can't remember the full story about that. I don't understand why people care so much about what someone else is sleeping on. I think if he's doing fine on his mattress, whatever. But I think also he does play into a lot of these scenarios by posting them quite frequently. His old towel. Now, his old towel is something that I'm a bit like, oh, Bradley, you can probably afford a new towel, but it is one of those things that helps keep people engaged. And for all we know, he has another towel hidden somewhere, but I don't think he does. But I don't think he can be labeled as dirty for having an old towel. So he cuts his scrub daddy or his sponges in half. Again, I don't see what's a problem with that. He is someone who lives by himself, so he probably has less washing up to do because he doesn't have a dishwasher. And if he used a full sponge, it would have to be thrown out quicker. So I don't know why that's a big deal. If anything, that is smart, because scrub daddies actually cost a fortune. So I'm on Bradley's side with that. It's leftovers from when he did work, which we'll get into in a second. When he did work, he took leftovers from work, and people were really pressed about that. I'm always that person at like a family function or something, or if we have people over and I'm sending people home with stuff, because I honestly hate the thought of all the food waste in the world and just in my life in general. And I'll always try cook things that we can eat for a day or 2 after, so nothing is going to waste in my mind. He does no spend weekends, and I always enjoy them videos because he really shows off different things you can do. And like on his birthday, he went out and got all the free stuff, because companies love to give out free stuff around your birthday. So if anything, that's encouraged me to go to Krispy Kreme and get my free donut on my birthday. Another big thing that people are pressed on is his regifting. I personally don't think there's anything wrong with this. I've got a gift before and regifted it because it's something that I didn't want or didn't use. And what is the point in telling someone that you didn't want that? Or if it's something that you know someone got with good intentions, but it was like the wrong brand or the wrong size or whatever. I just don't think there's a problem in that. I'm very picky on candles, so I have regifted candles in the past if I haven't liked the smell of them, because I am a bit fussy. But also, I don't think there's anything wrong with regifting or giving to a charity shop if you didn't like something. I just think that's just one of those things that people just give out about him for no reason. But the one problem he did have was he did a sponsorship with DoorDash to do with like Lyft like kind of like taxis and getting lifts, so people are really pressed about that, and I kind of understand, because in a previous video he had said, like, I think it's ridiculous people spend money on things like taxis or getting food delivered when you can actually just go out and get it yourself. So I think that was the only thing that stuck with me, because it was like a subscription. He was selling a subscription when he actually doesn't have any subscriptions himself, and he talks about that in his videos, that he only watches things on YouTube or things that are free, and he doesn't subscribe to anything. So I think that is a valid one for people to be slightly annoyed about, because you're already promoting it for money. But I think that is the point where he listened to everyone. And if you look at a lot of other TikTokers that did things like this for money, and then the minute they were called out, they literally said, fuck you, and they just continued getting these ads and stuff and promotions that they weren't really using, I think he hasn't really done anything since. Conclusion in all this, if you don't like someone, don't watch, scroll past, block them, like end game. I think he has good intentions with everything that he posts. I think he is someone that struggles with some sort of money issues, and maybe he does need therapy, maybe he does need a bit of counseling, but I think his version of that is sharing it on TikTok. And the last thing is, I think he is a happy person. I enjoy watching him. So this video isn't too bashing. It's more just like, why do people care so much about someone's towel that they use? But at the same time, when you share it online, you're sharing it with the world. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know what you think. Check out Bradley on a budget, because I'm telling you, he will make you rethink some of the things that you buy. I don't think there's any harm in adding a bit of water to your soap to make it last longer. We can all admit we've done it at some point when our shampoos run out. We need to wash our hair. We've all done it. So I don't think it's something that we should be shaming someone for. And yeah, I think everyone makes a mistake every now and again, and they should be let off. So yeah, I'm Team Bradley on this. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my other videos, and I'll see you real soon.